Hi guys, how are you? Long time no see. Happy New Year, happy 2019. I'm so excited to be back. I missed you so much. I felt like I didn't film in a long time. So I decided to start with something fun and something more or less affordable. Sephora recently released a new foundation and it's called Matte Perfection Foundation, and I grabbed it. It will cost you $25 Canadian plus tax, and you get about one fluid ounce or 30 milliliters, which is pretty much standard for the foundation. The fun part is that it says it's a matte foundation, so I'm super excited. I have oily combo skin, I have super oily oily T-zone and very dry cheek area, so I'm really excited to try and see. So we're gonna do wear test today for this foundation, and we're pretty much gonna see if it's good or not for oily skin, if it's full coverage, and if it's crunchy matte. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. So the foundation comes in, I think it's 22 shades, and there are a few deep shades, but I'm not sure how deep they are. There are definitely not enough shades. I have the shade 20 cream, and it's not the lightest one, but it's definitely somewhere in the middle of the range shade. So I'm not even sure if that's the perfect shade. I bought it online. I never swatched the foundation. I never played with the foundation, so I have no really clue how it's gonna perform, if the shade is actually even good or bad. Might be too dark, might be too light for me, but we're gonna see and try. So here how the packaging looks, like a squeezy tube. So let's open it and see. So it has some aluminum glued on top to prevent leakage. So I'm gonna try a little bit on my hand. It has a very thick formula, and I'm kind of concerned it might look a little bit too cakey. It's definitely looking like medium to full coverage, and I don't think you need a lot of the foundation. And I forgot to bring some wet napkins. I'll be back. So pretty much the claim, it's a full coverage matte finish. It's a cream formula. It's super thick formula. It's oil free. They're saying it's easy to apply. I'm a bit concerned about that because it's such a thick formula, so I'm not really sure. We're gonna try and see how that one will be. They're saying it's a long lasting, apparently good for all skin types. We'll see. And they're saying that it's gonna smooth imperfections, which I kind of see happening because of this such a thick consistency. So let me put some primer and let's start applying. And the other thing that they're suggesting on Sephora website, they're saying to apply with a brush. So I never ever apply my foundation with a brush, but for the sake of trying, we're gonna try one side with a brush and one side with the sponge. I feel like a little bit dehydrated recently. I know I'm oily skin, but I still get some dehydration, so I'm gonna use Guerlain Radiance Pure Radiance Primer. I'm always confused how it's called. Radiance Concentrate with Pure Gold or Le Primer. I like using this primer on my more dehydrated kind of days. I forgot to put moisturizer last night and my skin is super upset right now. And because more is more, we're gonna use some Dr. Brandt Pores No More Purifying Primer. I love this primer. I think it's one of the best pore filling primers. How's everyone's new year? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy it? I'm so glad it's over, but we're still in the celebration, and yeah, pretty much never ends. I barely use any brush to apply makeup. I prefer to use a sponge to apply my foundation, but I like this brush from e.l.f. and I forgot how it's called. I think it's called Selfie something foundation brush, something selfie. I think it's called something selfie, and I think it's a pretty good brush. It's super inexpensive and it's pretty good at applying foundation. So we're gonna try one side with a brush and one side with a sponge and see how it goes. So we're gonna start first with the brush, and I'm just gonna apply some on my hand. That is very much full coverage foundation. Holy crap. That's a bit too light for me, but that's okay. It has some smell, like a little bit soury smell. It's a bit tacky, but nothing crazy tacky, and it is definitely full coverage. Like this side of my face is covered with foundation and the other one is not yet. The shade is not that bad, and I think it's kind of... I see some oxidation happening. It's not crazy. Definitely oxidizing a little bit, a tiny bit. This is the fresh new foundation, and this one has already been on my hand for some time. So be aware of that it will get a little bit darker once you apply. Now let's try the other side with the sponge, and then I'm gonna zoom in, guys, so you can see the difference between sponge and the brush. It's actually not that hard to apply. I was concerned it might be a little bit hard to apply the foundation, but it's not that bad. Definitely has a lot of pigment. Yeah, I can definitely see how much it oxidized. I don't even know which side I prefer more, to be honest. I feel like... No, you know what? I think I prefer more the sponge side because I feel like it disperses the foundation a little bit better, and on the brush side I feel like it's a little bit more cakey around my nose area. So I'm gonna zoom in closer so you guys can see the difference between the brush and the sponge, and then I'll just reblend everything with the same application. So this side is done with the sponge, and this side is done with the brush. I honestly see really no difference between the sponge and the brush. The only problem that I see is around my nose with the brush, that it kind of collects there and it's gonna get cakey. And overall, I do prefer sponge a tiny bit more because I feel like the application is a tiny bit smoother, but really not much difference that I can see, to be honest. So I think I'm gonna just reblend everything with the sponge. I do prefer it better with the sponge a tiny bit more. I see that the foundation moves a bit. I started blending it and it kind of took a chunk off, which is super strange. I'm gonna zoom in so you see. So I don't know if you can see or not, so I tried to reblend the cakiness around my nose, and the foundation is kind of missing in this part in here, and it's super strange. It kind of lifted. That is so weird. I'm gonna finish the rest of the makeup and I'm gonna come back to show you how the foundation looks under the powder and, like, you know, the final kind of touch. And we're gonna do the wear test, and we're gonna wear it for the whole day and see how the foundation behaves. So I'll see you in a bit. So I finished the rest of the makeup. I applied some concealer powder and all that fancy stuff. I used some Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, and I used Maybelline powder. Where did I put the Maybelline powder? Maybelline Loose Powder. I love that powder, and honestly, I kind of like how my foundation looks. It was a tiny bit cakey around my mouth, but it's settled. I've been wearing the foundation for about 1 hour. Right now is 1:40. I don't know if you can see, 1:46. So it's been on my face for about an hour and it is looking really good. I like how the foundation looks so far. I still have a long day to wear it. I'm probably gonna wear it for at least 6 hours more. So I think we're gonna have a pretty good test of how the foundation performs. But so far, so good. I'm enjoying how it looks. I'm gonna zoom in closer so you guys can see how it looks with everything being on my face. And yeah, and then we go from there. So this is how my foundation looks with my powder and everything, with the setting spray obviously. It didn't settle in any of my lines yet, not that I know of. I see some crazy happening, but that's very normal. All my foundations do that. Other than that, nothing crazy happening. I'm enjoying how the foundation looks. It definitely has the matte finish and I'm liking it. I'll see how it performs when my oils will start to come through. But so far so good. So far I'm enjoying the foundation, and I'll see you in a couple of hours to give you an update. So I've been wearing the foundation for about 4 hours now, and I see some oil starting to come through, but really nothing moving. Everything is in place, no creasing happening, just some oils coming through. So far the foundation is holding pretty good. We're gonna have probably another 4 hours or so of wearing this, but so far so good. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed with the foundation. I have no issues with it. It is definitely not a transfer proof foundation, so if I touch my face I definitely see some foundation transferring, which could be an issue. As far as it holds on the oily face, I think it's doing pretty well. So far so good. I'll see you in a couple more hours. So I've been wearing the foundation for about 8 hours now, and honestly, I have no issues with it being oily. I don't even feel like I need some touch up. I didn't even touch up throughout the day, and it doesn't, my face doesn't look that crazy oily. The only problem that I have with this foundation is, so foundation is completely gone from this part in here, which is super strange. I didn't have any hat to wear. It just kind of rubbed off. I'm also missing some foundation on my chin and part of my nose. I don't know what to tell you. I like this foundation. It looks really good. I don't need any touch up. The only thing is just it transfers off. If you touch your face, the foundation is kind of gone. So that's pretty much what I can tell you. As for oily skin, it is a really good foundation, but it transfers off every time you touch your face. So I don't know what to tell you. If you don't touch your face throughout the day and you are super oily, I think it's good foundation. But if you do happen to touch your face, you'll have some transfer and you're gonna have some spots missing the foundation. So I'm just gonna wrap up the video. This is what it is. It's a good foundation. It's $25, so think about that. It transfers, but it's really good for oily skin at the same time. You don't need any touch up. Like this face is looking pretty good in terms of the oil. So yeah, that's what it is. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You can also follow me on my Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.